Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Overwhelmed Gamer podcast, where each week I grab a guest from the community and myself give a spoiler-free review of a retro or homebrew game. We also catch up on my weekly gaming adventures from the previous week and just kind of hang out and waste, about 30 minutes of your time. I'm your host, Jason, and this week we are reviewing the homebrew game Zed and Zee for the NES. Not only is Zed and Zee a newish homebrew for the NES, but it's also the first title published by the recently reintroduced Tengen Games. And it is no longer the Tengen that we've been used to in the past, so that's a good thing. But I am joined this week once again by my fellow homebrew aficionado, Jay from GFD Gaming. That's it. Whatever. That's enough. Let's go.
He is the overwhelmed gamer. Jason's the overwhelmed gamer. He stopped playing 20 years ago and just started up again. Now his backlog of games to try seems like it never ends. Exploring older games and retro. He's playing homebrew on Nintendo. Yeah, he's the overwhelmed gamer. All right.
So before we get started, a quick bit of housekeeping. First of all, I lied to everybody last week. I mentioned that this was going to start coming out on Fridays, but I think I changed my mind. I think Wednesdays is a good spot for the show to come out. It works with the rest of my content that I put out. So on YouTube, if you follow along there, I do a video every Monday and Friday. So to stick this right in between, I think just kind of makes sense. So Wednesdays is going to be the day for the foreseeable future. You know, things change as I figure stuff out. I'm still trying to figure out my YouTube cadence, to be honest. I'm doing all kinds of different types of videos on YouTube, and I might try and narrow that down, maybe do one a week instead of two a week. It's just trying to see what works, what doesn't work. If you have any ideas, let me know. But I think that is it for housekeeping this week. So now let's get into a little segment that I like to call What is Gripping My Controller. If you're new to the show, I like to take this time just to give you a quick peek into what I've been up to the past week, games I've been playing, pickups, any of that kind of fun stuff. Not much has really changed here, to be honest. Well, maybe a couple things. As far as what I'm playing, I'm still playing Breath of the Wild, getting close to wrapping that up still. It's such a large game. Dude, I have 147 hours into that game. And that is probably the most I've ever played a story type game. You know what I mean? You know, I've obviously played Mario Kart or maybe Mortal Kombat, things like that, much longer. But as far as a campaign game or an open world game, I've played this one more than any other game, and I'm absolutely loving it. So glad I decided to jump in and play it. But that's still going. Maybe another week, and I'll be done with that, wrapping that one up, and then time to move on to a different backlog game. The daughter and I are still playing Viewfinder for the PlayStation 5. We're playing that every Sunday on stream, and that's a fun little puzzle game. That one's keeping us entertained. I think we're getting close to wrapping that one up too. I'm guessing probably one or two more game sessions there before that one gets wrapped up. For my retro game this week, I'm still playing Zack and Wiki. I played it last week, for a couple hours, and really enjoying that. One of these games that I think the Wii should have looked at as more of a template on how to make other games. This game really makes great use of the Wii remotes. And yeah, it's just really fun, really well done. Kind of feels like you're playing a Saturday morning cartoon. So good stuff there. I'll be enjoying that for probably the next few weeks, I'm guessing. It's not sure quite how long it is, but yeah, I'm guessing I got another 2 or 3 weeks of playtime with that one, depending on how much I dedicate to Breath of the Wild. So you can watch that one on stream as well every Tuesday, at least Tuesdays. Quest 64, that was my game that I tried from my backlog, or not my backlog, I do this short video of that's basically what I do is I grab a game from my backlog and I play it for like 45 minutes, half hour, somewhere in there, just to get an idea of if I'm keeping them in the collection, if they're going to get a full playthrough, or if they're hitting the trading block, essentially. And this week, I started playing Quest 64. I have always been a huge RPG fan, and this is one that I had always wanted to check out for the 64, but never had the chance. I don't even remember where I ended up getting this one. It might have been a Whatnot auction or something like that, but it's all right. I think it's getting a full playthrough. I enjoyed the time I played with it. When I first started it, I was a little apprehensive because I couldn't get the camera right, and it was frustrating, and it was like walking through an endless set of stairs to begin with to get out of the castle, and then it's just kind of bare. But once you start getting into it and you start getting into the battles, it got a lot more fun. And once you started figuring out how the battle system works, this one I'm gonna play it all the way through at some point. So it's definitely staying in the collection. I would recommend, if you are an old school RPG fan and a Nintendo 64 fan, it's worth playing and checking out, just to, if anything, just to see if you're into it or not, or if you like it. But yeah, I wouldn't pass up on it just because of looks. It's a cute little game so far, and I'm curious to see how the story evolves and how much more fun there is to be had with that. As far as game pickups, didn't really do conventional pickups of any type, which probably won't do for a little bit here, but I did get one of my retro boxes that I get every month. I think this one was the retro treasure box, something like that, whatever. And in there, I got 3 new games. I got RoboCop versus Predator for the Sega Genesis, Mighty Bomb Jack for the NES, and Amagon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. That's also for the NES. And I really haven't played any of these, so they'll sit in the collection until I get a chance to play them, see if they're worth keeping, or if I'm going to move them along. Mighty Bomb Jack and Amagon are definitely staying in the collection because if you follow along, I'm going for the complete North America NES release set there. But RoboCop versus Predator for the Genesis, we'll see. I'll have to play that. I've already gotten some feedback about that one. Some people remember it fondly, so it might be one that I get to play through at some point. But I think that's it. Yeah, that's all that's going on for what I've been doing this week. So let's get into a quick little public service announcement, and when we come back, we'll be talking Zed and Zee. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Just a quick reminder, if you enjoy the show and want to connect, you can find me streaming 3 nights a week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 10 p.m. Central. Mondays, I tackle a game from my backlog. Tuesdays are all about retro and homebrew games, and Thursdays are wild card, either continuing Monday's game or diving back into Tuesday's pick. You can catch my streams on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and TikTok. Also, be sure to check out my YouTube channel where I post videos every Monday and Thursday, covering everything from game reviews and top 5 lists to homebrew overviews, retro gaming history, and general gaming discussions. If you love retro gaming, be sure to check that out. The best way to stay in touch is on Facebook and X/Twitter, where I'm the most active. And if you want to reach out to the show, submit a question, or if you're a homebrew or indie developer looking for a game review, head on over to overwhelmedgamer.show, fill out the contact form. I would love to hear from you. All right, let's get back to the show. Real quickly, before Jay and I get into our opinions of Zed and Zee, I'm trying to reach out to get some listener feedback, and this week I did get one. So kind of cool. Dale Coop over on X wrote in, and he said he liked this one. Zed and Zee is a fantastic new arcade-style NES game. I really like it. Very colorful and polished. Tengen Games did an amazing job with Zed and Zee. So yeah, I kind of agree. I don't want to go too much into it, so you'll hear our review in just a second. But Dale, thanks so much for writing in. I appreciate it. Hope to get more of these. I know with the Homebrew games, it's going to be kind of difficult to get a whole bunch of responses. But yeah, nice to get at least one for a Homebrew review this week. But anyway, that's it. Let's get on with some Zed and Zee. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the pod. And once again, we have our Homebrew guru, Jay's with us from GFD Gaming. What's up, Jay?
Hey, thanks for having me on again.
Of course. Real quick, let everybody know where they can find all your info, channel, socials, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, if you just Google, I have a YouTube channel, GFD Gaming. I believe it's GFD Gaming-NES, something like that. I should probably know this, but I don't. But you'll find it. If you're looking for NES homebrew playthroughs, GFD Gaming. There you go.
Perfect. Yeah, let's talk some Zed and Zee. I like this one. Now, the unique thing about Zed and Zee is right away is the developer got the rights to Tengen Games, which is super unique and super cool that they were able to do that. And I think this was a really, really good first title for the newly branded Tengen Games. Am I saying it right? I asked him too, is it Tengen or Tengen? And I think he told me it was Tengen, but I don't remember anything.
Okay, I always say Tengen.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he told me it was a hard G, like Tengen, but I could be right. I have to go back and listen to the interview I had with him like months ago at this point. But
well, I think Zed and Zee is by far the best thing that Tengen has ever produced.
It might be. There's few and far between that were actually good from the old company. The only thing, one of the things I wish they would have been able to do, and maybe it's something that they're looking into at some point, if they could have made or got the old NES shells that the Tengen Games used to be made with, that would have been cool.
Man.
I never liked them because they were janky and you knew oh, this is a Tengen game. This isn't going to be good.
I bet somebody could 3D print those, though.
They'd have to.
Yeah. It couldn't be that hard.
No. I don't know how much it would cost or if it's worth it, but I mean, if you get going, it's like you might as well. But anyway, I thought this game was super polished for the first entry in for the new Tengen Games. That was one of the main things that I saw right off the bat. If you're unfamiliar, it's basically, how would you describe this? It's like an arcadey kind of.
It's like an arcade platformer, I would say. Single screen every time. Clear the coins.
Yeah.
Move to the next screen.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you do. But the controls are very nicely done. That was one of the first things, which for a game like this, they kind of need to be that tight in order to make it a successful playthrough or not a debacle. Because if the controls were a mess, this game would have been just horrible, and they were far from it. It was just really, when the first time I played it, I was like, man, it looks sharp. It looks like a professionally done game. The way they put the backgrounds together are kind of like a muted, and they did a great job with like the composition of the colors, because your backgrounds are kind of this muted in the back. It feels like they're in the background, but there's something drawn there, and then everything else really feels like it's popping out in front of you.
Yeah, all the sprites look really good. Like
yeah,
the robots and all the enemy sprites look amazing.
yeah, they look amazing. Very kind of remind me of Mega Man in a way, kind of that
Yeah,
vibe
that's
where they're kind of a shorter character, but it's really well done. But the gist of it is, yeah, just like you said, you run around, collect the coins or diamonds or whatever they are, and then you move on to the next stage. You can jump on the enemies' heads, and there's all kinds of different things that you get into where each stage has its own unique kind of way of having to complete it. So you might have one of the coins is sitting over a death trap basically, and you have to make sure you're getting that one last so the stage
yeah.
ends. Otherwise, you're gonna die. It might even be over an empty pit that you would just fall through. So there's all these little things to look for, and then there's enemies throughout the stages, like little robots or little helicopter robot things. At some point, you get into like these robot frog things, and that's what kind of makes me think of Mega Man because everything's like a robot, but there's frogs and helicopters and things. But it's really, really, I just thought this game was really well done in that way.
Oh yeah. I mean, I guess everything kind of matches the story
Yeah,
ever so. I guess the story is like those two robots don't like that Professor
I
Ottoman
don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
is wants them to control all the other robots to rule the world or something like that. So makes sense that everything would be a robot. I didn't really put that together.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Um, yeah, and it's there's what? I think there's 6 levels total in this one.
Yeah.
And there's 6 different bosses, but the bosses are super unique. You don't fight the boss like you would think. It's still the same way you would complete a level, except with the bosses. In this one, you still have to grab all the diamonds, coins, gems, whatever you want to say, to complete the level. It's just the bosses are more in your way than a normal stage, and they're
Yeah.
bigger, and and sometimes you have to do things that are a little bit unique, like trying to think. Like the first boss is just basically grab all the diamonds, and there's one that
Yeah. The genie
uh,
is the second boss, and you have to use his projectiles to
yes,
break the blocks away so you can collect them, but they're
right,
always shooting at you.
right.
So,
So, yeah, so you have to kind of make him throw his projectiles towards the block. So yeah, so they break the specific one, so you can open it up, so you can actually get to the gems.
yeah. I don't really remember the third one is the totem pole, but I don't remember
That one
what
was
that one
pretty.
really did. That was
It,
straightforward, I think.
it was pretty
Just
straightforward. The totem pole, they shot at you like different levels depending on which face was shooting at you, so you just had to kind of be careful. Um, yeah, well, I'm trying to think if I can remember all. Oh my
so the
gosh,
fireball is the fourth level where there's a
yeah,
fireball that moves around the screen kind of randomly, and then they have
yes,
jets of fire on the blocks.
yes, yes. That one
That's
wasn't too bad.
That one wasn't bad.
Uh,
The worst one is level 5.
is
Is the
that the one
moon.
where? Is
The
that
m-
the one where they changes from the spikes to the
yeah,
platform?
with the
That
moon.
yes,
Yeah.
that one pissed me off. Yeah, that one got me frustrated. That took me a while to finish.
Yeah, that one took
Um,
me a while too, but it's still my favorite boss of the game
yeah,
because it was really cool.
it was really cool. It was really well done. But yeah, that one was. Yeah, that's the toughest one by far. Even the final boss, which I thought the final boss was really well done. It's basically this huge robot that is, and you're on rails basically, and all these projectiles are flying at you, and you have to jump up at certain times to get the actual diamonds or gems, and avoid the lasers and little gunshots that come your way. That one's pretty intense, but
Yeah, it took me a while to beat that one.
if you stay on the bottom platform, you can pretty much stay on that bottom platform the entire time and just do like 1 or 2 little jumps to get out of the way of the lasers, and you're pretty much home free. Which I think I just found out by accident, because I want to say I finished that first boss, the final boss, on my first playthrough of it.
Oh wow.
Completely lucky, because I'm usually not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, this one, like I said, the graphic wise, it's great. Like I can't talk enough about how polished this thing seemed, especially for now. I'd have to listen back, and I'm trying to remember what Jeff, the developer, told me. But I want to say this was his first like complete game. I think he may have
Oh wow, I didn't know
played
that.
around in other things here and there, but never really completed. And if that is the case, and I might be completely wrong at this point, but whatever, we're gonna go with it.
Yep.
It it's just so polished is the best thing I can think of about this game.
And it's got different, so you can play 2-player as well, which is really
That's right.
cool.
I have never done that, but
I haven't either. But
right.
I know you can do it. So you can play the main game 2-player, but you can also play like battle mode, which is you
really?
and another person try and collect coins who can ever get 7 coins faster, I think. And then there is, if you beat the game, you can do boss rush mode and just play all the bosses.
Oh, that's cool. That's super
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know that. Well, I think I did know that, but I never did it. Yeah, that's unique. With the replayability with this one, there's kind of it feels like it belongs on an arcade machine.
It would be good on an arcade cabinet, yeah.
Yeah, like
That would be a lot of fun. I should see if I can put it on one of my arcade machines.
I know.
I'm looking at mine right here. No, I was like, I could probably do. Yeah, I think I'll do that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. That I have my one arcade machine is like a multi-cab, and I just got a thing to mod it so I can put new like NES ROMs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right now it's just a main machine, but to be able to put something like this on there, I think it would fit. It would be beautiful, and it'd be something cool too, because like the kids and I or whatever could jump on and play 2 players, standing at an arcade. That would be sick. I'm trying to remember, like lengthwise, how long did this game take?
Man, you probably easily get it done in about an hour and a half, I would think.
I think so too. Yeah, somewhere right around there. Maybe even shorter if you got good at it.
If you were better, yeah, I would say initial playthrough is under 2 hours, probably.
Oh, yeah. I have to look again.
I want to say mine was like 50 minutes on when I recorded this game, or it's like an hour, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not bad. But yeah, it's super arcadey. Just it definitely feels like it belongs on an arcade machine, without a doubt. The difficulty, it's not overly difficult, I wouldn't say, but there definitely are parts that could throw fits, make you throw a fit, but they're few and far between. And once you do figure them out, you're like, oh, okay, I understand it now.
Yeah, and you get passwords, and the worst that happens is you go back to the first level of that stage, and it's 6 screens that you have to beat at the most. So,
that's nice.
Dying really isn't that big of a setback.
Right. Yeah, some of these games that make you go all the way back. It's annoying. Okay, I forgot I was gonna mention this. So that's how dumb I am. I didn't realize until about halfway through my first playthrough that you could actually run. That it had like a run button feature.
There's a spot you have to run to make a jump. I don't know what level it is, but I did the same thing in my recording on my channel. I probably spent 15 minutes trying to make that jump, and I was, it's like Jesus Christ, I have to.
Yeah.
You can run.
Know. Yeah, I don't know why I just assumed you couldn't. You totally should be able to run in a game like this. It makes perfect sense. But for whatever,
it made that game so much easier, though.
Yeah, it's so much easier because it's like trying to fight grab all the diamonds or whatever from the first boss.
Yeah,
I was getting, I guess, frustrated, but yeah, I was. And then once you learn that you can actually run, I was like, dude, okay, this is so much easier than
we got to read the instructions, apparently.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I have the physical copy. It's probably got a manual in here too that tells you that. But who does that? So dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember doing that and feeling completely embarrassed about myself. If somebody else probably watching my playthrough going, why the heck isn't he running? What's going on?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, whatever. I'm an idiot.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought this game was a gem though. Like, if you haven't checked this one out, again, Tengen Games, it's super, super unique. That in itself is awesome. That Tengen's back and making games. I haven't heard any rumors or anything about anything else coming out or any other projects being worked on. But hopefully they keep going with things like this.
Yeah, I hope they continue making some NES games because they knocked it out of the park with the first one.
Yeah,
Set the bar pretty high.
yeah, for sure. I'm curious what other types of games they were thinking about doing.
Is it a big team or is it just him? Do you
It's
know?
just him. I think he
Oh.
might have some people that help with some music or something like that, but for the most part, it's his Jeff's vision and everything else, and maybe he gets some help here and there
Mm-hmm.
from people. But yeah, and that's what really impressed me about it was I was shocked at how well this all came together for a first game. Because even though it's Tengen Games, he figured out how to get the rights to the name. It's
That
still
had to have been super tough to get that done.
yeah, it
Like,
was. Yeah, he described it to me, and it just kind of fell in his lap, kind of a thing. So it's an interesting thing. You have to, if you go back a few episodes, you'll be able to hear the interview that I had with Jeff. But it's just really, really well done. Like the just the legacy of, and well, I mean, a lot of people have thoughts of Tengen Games as this horrible company that made shitty games for the NES and then nobody really wanted to play. They had a couple okay games in there, but for the most part, if you saw that goofy looking cart, you were like, okay.
what did they do? They did Golden Axe, right? Wasn't that one of them?
Yeah, I think so. There's a Miss Pac-Man. I think they did.
Yeah, Tetris. They did the other
Oh,
Tetris.
that's right. They did. I think Gauntlet was another one.
Was Gauntlet. RBI Baseball. I know
That was
one.
decent. That one was
Yeah,
one of
that was
the
pretty good.
decent ones. If you're into sport games at all, which not so much anymore, but I used to be. I played a lot of baseball and football games way back when.
Can't think of anything else that Tengen put out.
No,
So
no, it's probably for the better because there wasn't much much good that came
Yeah.
from them. Yeah, as far as like this, how does this compare to like other games in the genre? It holds up remarkably well to pretty much anything. It feels like, I keep saying this over and over again, but it just feels like a super polished game that you would walk up to on an arcade machine and plunk down your quarters and play for an hour.
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you're good at it, or play
Yeah,
with a friend.
I don't remember on, when the NES was out, was there a lot of these arcade platformers? Like, I mean, I can't think of a lot. I'm trying to think of some.
I'm sure there are. Well, there's like Clue Land would come to mind, which is kind of like that.
I guess like Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble would be one.
Yeah, man.
What's there? Yeah, there's probably
Yeah,
a
so there
bunch
are
of them,
some. Yeah.
but they were never games that I gravitated towards. So even if I'm sure there's a ton of them, but it wasn't a game like if I saw a game like that, it wouldn't be one that I would opt to rent or try and purchase or anything like that. So there's probably a lot of if there's more games like this one out there that I'm not aware of, I'll be all for trying them because there's.
I would say
fun.
check out Kobold. That's a really good one.
Okay.
Yeah. Old Towers. It's
okay.
another good one.
Gotcha. They there's just it's just fun. It's polished.
Mhm.
It's a great game. It's by Tengen. Hopefully they do more.
Seems like a lot of work to go through to make one game and
yes,
produce one game off of it.
right,
So
right, yeah. So
hopefully he's doing more.
hopefully he's doing more. Right, I'll get a hold of him and figure that out. But all right, well let's wrap up Zed and Zee. What 4 out of 5 robots? What are we giving this
All
one?
right, I'm gonna go 4.5 on this one. It's got awesome replayability. The graphics are really good. Tight controls, good music, good sound effects.
Yeah,
It's just super well polished through and through.
yeah. I'm right there too. I'm gonna say the same thing. It's like a 4.5. It's just so fun to pick up and play. And it's another one of those games where you can just try and get better and better at it.
Yeah.
I could see trying to speed run this one or just, yeah, it's super polished. I'm definitely going to put it on my arcade machine. It'll be one of those games that I walk by and go, hey, I'm going to just jump in on this real quick and see what I can do.
Yeah. It'd
Just-
definitely be great on an arcade.
Yeah, so super cool. So yeah, I'm right there with you. 4 out of 5. Definitely check out Zed and Zee if you haven't played it. You need to. Easy. I don't know. I'm sure you can still get physical copies. I'll do a little bit of research and I'll have all the links in the show notes for everybody to check it out. But for sure, there's got to be at least ROMs floating around. So there's definitely ways to play it.
Yeah, I know you can get it on itch, and I want to say you can get it on Dalian Games. I don't know how to say his last. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll have all that in the show notes or whatever. But yeah, man. Well, thanks again for jumping in here and doing another homebrew with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's gonna wrap up Zed and Zee, and we will see you next time. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our little podcast here. I know there's a ton of these retro gaming podcasts out there now, and taking the time to listen to our debacle is super appreciative. And if you like what you're listening to, maybe consider dropping us a 5-star review. I hear it does something. Good podcasts talk about doing it, so I don't know. Maybe it doesn't hurt. Who knows? That's it for this week. We will see everyone next week. Late.